Hello everyone and welcome to the first ever BeamNG multiplayer F4 series event. We're here for the sprint race in Hirochi Raceway, the first round of 16 rounds and the first sprint of 6 sprints that are spread out across the race calendar. As the cars come out for their formation lap to warm up their tyres and form into the grid, we'll go through each of the 8 competitors that are going to be racing in the first race of this series. The sprint races will have a reversed grid order because the races offer less points, so starting first is Bones, who did not manage to set a competitive time. In the one-shot quali he crashed. Starting alongside him in the first row is Burning, who was almost 20 seconds off the pace after making a mistake, but was able to get back going and finish his lap, but he was the slowest of the competitors who managed to set a time. Next up is Pen Striker, who also had a spin on his lap and is almost 20 seconds off the pace. He is only slightly ahead of Burning, and that'll have him starting third in the sprint race. Next up is Farmboy, who was only 7 seconds off the pace but also reported issues during his lap. He'll start in 4th for this race. Blurry will start in 5th, only a second off the pole time. He would have hoped for more, but he'll have to settle with a 1:18.18 for his lap time. Starting in 6th is Seth. He was also about a second off the pace, very close to Blurry's qualifying time, and for this he'll start in 6th. Next up is Apex, starting in 7th, only 2/10 behind the pole sitter, which is Ido Dadoda. Bit of a mouthful, but he'll be the one to watch as he set the fastest lap in qualifying, which means he'll start last for the sprint and first for the main race as the cars approach the grid, each lining up in their own spots. The sprint race will be 3 laps long with a reverse grid, so the faster cars are at the back, so there'll be plenty of action and overtaking. All the cars are ready to go and on the grid. The race will start in 3 beeps time. And we're underway in Hirochi Raceway, and it's a poor start from Bones. They'll give Burning an opportunity to battle for the lead, but Bones has that inside line and he'll be able to maintain the lead through the first couple of corners as all the cars come through. So far unscathed, there's been no instance, and Burning down the inside, but Bones shuts him off, going a bit on the grass there. And Farmboy had a slow exit. He'll be losing positions down this straight as Burning gets the slipstream and pulls behind Bones, going for the lead into the braking zone. Who will brake later? Oh, and Bones barely keeps it, and Burning goes deep and is now losing positions. Pen Striker goes by and Blurry is now side by side. Apex has made up 3 positions in the opening stages of the race. The cars are all still very close together as Bones is starting to pull away for a bit of a lead, and Apex trying to go down the inside of another car. Oh, and Bones is off into the grass and he'll spin. Pen Striker takes the lead and all the cars take avoiding action. Burning is off into the grass. He cuts across the track and oh, that's a massive crash. Farmboy is taken out by Burning, who had lost control at that point. He was on the grass and he might have touched the wall there, but the racing still continues as Seth tries to go down the inside of Ido Dadoda. Oh, and I'm hearing Pen Striker has gone off and he's losing positions. We can't see it right now, but he's dropped down to 3rd, and Blurry now re-inherits the lead. We haven't even finished the first lap yet as Seth comes through, having completed that move on Ido Dadoda. I've heard that Bones is able to keep on going in this race. The cars are side by side as they cross the line. Apex challenging from the lead after starting in 7th, and he has made the move on Blurry. He is the new race leader as we enter lap 2 of this race. We've lost our race leader. He's gone down to 6th, and 2 cars have crashed out, but Bones is able to keep on going, albeit with a big deficit, and Apex is now pulling away from Blurry and the other cars as Seth goes for a move on Pen Striker and makes a clean overtake. Pen Striker now dropping down the order relatively quickly, and Ido Dadoda is now in 5th after starting from the back. He was the fastest car in qualifying and he looks to be putting the pressure on Pen Striker here. Well, that was a dramatic opening lap in this race, and we'll have a moment to look at a couple of replays now. We'll have to cut back to that battle in a second. But this is a crash in the opening lap. Burning just losing it on the grass and then hitting the wall, and by then he couldn't control his car, and so Farmboy was a sitting duck, just unfortunate to be in the path of the car. And this was all caused by Bones' initial spin, which sent the grid into chaos, and that's a very heavy impact for those 2 cars there. At the moment, Burning is classified ahead of Farmboy, but that might change with the penalty coming his way, because that probably was avoidable if he hadn't have gone onto the grass. Riding on board with the unlucky Farmboy, who barely avoids Bones. That was already a good enough save there, but then another car comes to collect him as Burning loses complete control. Farmboy was an innocent bystander in that one, nothing he could have done. And this was right after Pinstriker took the lead, after Bones was off on the grass. The overtake for the lead that we missed, where he went a little wide, and both Apex and Blurry took advantage of that and went up into first and second position. And then in the following corner, Apex will take the lead. So we jump back onto live, on board with Idodododa. Oh, and no, and Burning's car has seemed to have flicked up off the barrier. Is that some sort of side effect of the aerodynamics of these cars? There's been reports that the side drafting mod pulls cars around it towards it, and that could have caused that incident. But that's heavy damage for Idodododa, the fastest guy in qualifying. He might be able to make it to the pits and repair that damage, but it might be too much for him. There was a complete wheel missing as we start the third and final lap of this race. It's been a short and sharp sprint, but definitely action-packed as Apex comes through the first couple of corners, leading this sprint after starting in 7th on the grid. That's 7 positions gained, which is very impressive. Bones is now being grayed out on the leaderboard. It appears he must have DNF somewhere. We haven't heard about it, so it's probably not a major incident, as Idodododa does manage to come into the pits and repair his car. He'll come out in 5th. Oh, and there's Bones. He's just, it appears he's just gotten beached there, which is unfortunate. This is Blurry now making his way through the final lap in 2nd position. It's been a strong race from him. Starting in the mid-pack, he'll have an opportunity to move forward in both the sprint and the race. He'll not have to navigate the destroyed car of Burning, and you can see there that the car got yanked slightly towards him. That's the effect that we were talking about that caused Burning to be yonked across the track and take out the back half of Idodododa. And you can see there that's Bones losing it into the sand there in a replay, and he was beached and wasn't able to get going again. So that's race over for him. Unfortunate after he started in 1st. He would have wanted to maximize this sprint, but the car who did maximize this sprint is Apex as he comes through the last section of a lap. It's been quite a chaotic sprint here, and Apex has taken advantage of all the chaos and come out as the first race winner of an event in the BeamNG AI Series. Apex wins the sprint in Hirochi Raceway. Blurry comes home in 2nd place, and Seth will come home in 3rd. A pretty decent result for Pinstriker coming in 4th, and Idodododa is a little further behind because he had to pit after sustaining damage in a very unusual incident. But the man who was fastest in qualifying will come over the line 5th in the race, and we do have 3 cars that weren't able to finish. They were Bones, Farmboy and Burning. Farmboy and Burning in a big crash, but here is your results. Apex is the winner, followed by Blurry and Seth, who make up the podium. Pinstriker comes 4th, Idodododa climbs into 5th, Bones gets 6th after starting 1st in the race, and Farmboy and Burning were out in that crash, of course. And that means, of course, that Apex will be our championship leader, scoring 8 points, and then the points just go down, one by one, down till Burning, who was last in this race after receiving a penalty for that crash. The racers together voted that would be the verdict, so that means he'll be last in the championship. Everyone scores points here because it's only 8 races so far, but I'm sure that number will increase. If you want to hear more about how you could partake in the series, or at least drive with the drivers, please check out the Discord below. And also a huge thanks to Connect Hosting, who is providing the servers for the series. Couldn't thank them enough. And I'll see you next time for the main race. Goodbye.